We all have those weeks or days or months where things don't always go according to plan, where the unexpected happens, where things outside of our control may sort of ruin our day or mess up our plans. One thing I noticed about this week was that I've actually built a set of habits that kind of help me cope and better understand what I can do to make myself feel better during those times that are a little bit more stressful. Essentially, I realized that I've built a set of habits that support me even on my hardest days. And I wanted to share that with you in case you might find it helpful. So here are 3 practical ways to practice self-care on the days that are the hardest. First, being kind to yourself. On days where things go wrong, me treating myself like my enemy is only going to make me feel worse than I already do. And I've found that treating myself like a friend, showing myself a little extra compassion, being kind to myself, allowing myself to make mistakes, are things that actually really have helped me feel better. If your first reaction to yourself making a mistake or being in a situation that is not the best, if your first reaction is to be mad at yourself, be angry, essentially be mean to yourself, the next time you're in that scenario, take a minute and think, would you talk to your friend like this? Would you yell at your friend for making a mistake that was probably out of their control? Would you make a friend feel bad for being late? Would you hurt a friend's feelings to the point where they felt so horrible about themselves? This can also apply to things like taking a little bit more rest. If you need a day off and you're completely not able to get out of bed, talking to yourself and saying, you're so lazy, you should be able to get out of bed right now, what are you even doing, is completely counterproductive. Whereas if you change that mindset to, it's okay, I'm allowed to have a day of rest, I'm allowed to recover, I'm allowed to have time to feel better. If you treat yourself in this way, you're showing yourself a kindness that'll allow you to better move forward. Ask yourself if you would ever talk to your friend like this, or a friend would ever say something like that to you. If not, it's probably something that you shouldn't say yourself either. I also think it's important to give space to feel your feelings. If there's something that you're going through, if you've experienced something, your feelings are valid and you are allowed to feel them. In fact, give yourself space to recover, to actually move through the feeling rather than blocking it out. I've found in the past when I've blocked out one feeling, any feeling of anger, sadness, it blocks out all feelings. I can't even experience happiness when I've blocked out anger. The second habit I focus on is taking care of myself and addressing my needs. When things go wrong and life gets messy, often the first thing to go is basic self-care. Taking care of all of your basic needs first is often the thing we think about last in difficult situations. Because of that, I actually have a list that I keep that's essentially called my reset routine. On it, essentially, I make sure that I have every one of my basic needs taken care of. The first question I ask myself is, have you slept? Have I gotten a restful 7 or 8 hours of sleep? Have I eaten food in the last 3 or 4 hours? Am I super hungry? Am I dehydrated? Have I had enough water? Have I showered? Have I gone outside and seen the sun? Have I exercised recently? Have I meditated? All of these things I found form a keystone structure that really makes sure that my mental health is at a baseline neutral. If I haven't done one of these things, chances are, since that was one of the things to go, that's probably what's leading to me feeling even worse. By going back to my reset list on a day where I'm having a tough time, I make sure that I'm covering all my bases. By making sure that I am taking care of myself at the most basic level on a day that external circumstances are making my life harder, I can make sure that I am personally at a sort of neutral and I'm better able to cope with and react to situations in which I have zero control. Think about the key pieces of your life, the habits that you do daily or weekly that really hold you up. What are things that if you don't do them regularly, your life starts to feel not as good? On a day that's a little rougher, what would make you feel even worse? On the flip side, when you're feeling at your worst, what actually pulls you out of that? What pieces of taking care of yourself at your most basic level are actually going to make sure that you can function and react at your best to the external situations happening around you? The last habit that's really helped me on hard days is talking to someone and getting out of my own head. Oftentimes when I have something that's affecting me, when I've had a super hard day, I'm often just really swirling around in my own head, a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of reactions to what's happening around me. When you're thinking a little bit too much, it kind of marinates, and oftentimes for me, it kind of gets worse. One of the best ways to really realize and take a step back is to get out of my own head. The way I do that is to talk to someone. That could be a friend, a parent, a sibling, a partner, or even just opening a journal and writing about how I'm feeling. I can actually sort of process what's going on externally from myself that's not in my head. When I journal about things, I can actually see them from an outside perspective. I'm no longer completely experiencing what's happening to me. I'm seeing it on a piece of paper, and I can actually take action on it and figure out what I want to do next. I'm actually able to see it a little bit more rationally than emotionally and can actually move forward. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this brought you some value in terms of figuring out how you can better accomplish more and feel better on days where things are kind of harder. If you like this, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.